Hey, what's going on? It's Bebop here. I'm going to be going over the flail and hammer setup that I was using for Laz. Now, let's get into it. First of all, keep in mind that I did use sword and shield on the two bosses, Scylla and Chartist. But here's how I want you to set it up if you're going to set it up. 300 strength, 300 con. If you go all con pieces, then that will help out to get it to get set like this. If you have the gear like this from Glacial Tarn, the Frigid Dawn set, the Magnify is going to mess up this build. So if you do have that, and I believe it's probably the one I was running mostly in Laz, then I would set it up like this. You gotta spec into con pretty heavily here. Try to go up on the strength as much as you can. I got the wrong ring on, so let me adjust that real quick, because I ended up doing barnacles the other day. So let me put back on these two and that will help. So I would set it up like this. I think I went with 50 focus, which will give you the 10% incoming healing, 5% ability reduction, and then the rest into strength. And this is where Magnify becomes a little bit weird. So good thing they're fixing that in the next season so we can put it to where we want. So because I don't want to be 359 con. I think that's what I was in the video. It's just too dang heavy, you know. So if you have Magnify, you could leave it at 279 right here. If you get in trouble, then just go ahead and press one over and you got 359 con. You know, you can run the dungeon just like this. The 2 points, you won't be missing out on much. If you find that you're, you know, getting low or, you know, dying, just go ahead and get out of combat, hit over once, and next thing you know, you're beefcake, dude. 300, like basically 60 con. I mean, it's a lot. So what I would like you to do though is set up a whole set of Constitution gear. Now it doesn't have to be the best stuff, but at least chain of ward on pretty much every piece if you want. And you know, the shield, I go with thrust shield ward because a lot of the enemies do thrust with their spears. So I feel like having that extra damage reduction in that does help out a lot, plus some chain of ward on the shield. And then my flail is keen, which will help give me a better critical strike. Trenchant strikes, which I just realized I was using the wrong flail. It should have been the refreshing move one. Here, let me move this down. Oh, that might mess up the stats a little bit. No, that's the same thing. So refreshing move and crowded bludgeons, what I'm really looking for here. Crowded bludgeon is a must to have on the flail, because you're going to be able to spam this ability when a bunch of mobs are around you, because the cooldown by 25% is insane. So the hammer, refreshing move, thorning strikes, sundering clear out. Now if you can find a piece of sundering shockwave to put on your clothing, that will be awesome, because that will also help with Ren and you're shockwaving all the time. So I go with the strike damage hardy bloodletting ring. Now, if you have a arcane damage ring that you can use with the flail, you can use that too. Nimble despise healing heart for the earring. And of course I go with the minor heart rune of stone form. And these right here, regeneration serums, are really good. They're going to give you more healing than what a infused health potion will give you. And so if you go into a battle, especially that first room with all the changing doors, these come in handy. 400 health plus 1% of your max health, 5 stamina, and 2 mana per second for 20 seconds. It's a big boost. And you can see here, I don't have the most, you know, bisque gear, as you would say. Let's see what my refreshing is. 3 out of 4 refreshing. I don't even have Enchained Ward on this piece. I got a Whirling Blade, which doesn't really pertain to this flail build. And so you don't have to have the best pieces to run this, everybody. Now, if you're tanking and you want to help out DPS, do a little bit more DPS and challenge yourself, you can go with a Scylla light gear set. Go sword and shield. Make sure your round shield has fortifying shield rush in case they're slow putting down the orb. You can at least have some more survivability. And I also like to go full con on this gear set. Now, it was hard finding a lot of the pure con pieces. I think the legs I couldn't find. But if you can do that, you can keep your con up high above 300. It'll help you out a lot. And then when you switch to your Chartist set, so tanks should have one big heavy set, and then a Scylla set, and then a Chartis set. Chartis set should be all dex and strength, and that way you can go ahead and put everything into DPSing. You could take some strength food or dex food depending on how your stats come out, and you could be doing way more DPS. So if I attributed this right, I could get down below 50 con and be doing DPS, because on Chartis you don't need a tank, you just need everybody putting in DPS. So you could even get rid of the despised earring if you want. If you had a better earring, you know, feel free to do that. So the skill tree on the weapons here on the Flail, this is how I have it set up. Now, if you're speed running or you're trying to do the, you know, maybe best Flail situation, this is probably not it, but I have fun with this build. So I love the barrage to help dash forward and get out of situations or get to the next door in the first room. To get that second door opening is huge. Also, the arcane vortex cleanses everybody of being rooted from the ice, so I feel like that's a must. Also, crowded bludgeons is a must, because when you can do this and taunt your enemies over and over and over and just increase, you know, your fortify over and over, it's awesome. And it's a taunt, so you can constantly have the enemies that are spawning outside of the doors in the first room, you can constantly have them aggroed to you. And we all know with the Flail, you don't really do much damage, so as much as you can taunt and keep aggro, that's the whole point of the game right there. My sword and shield looks like this when I switch to Scylla and Chartis. Of course, go leadership to give everybody that 10% damage bonus. And what else? The hammer. I have 4 abilities selected, so I'll run Clear Out, Shockwave, and Wrecking Ball. I'll run this, you know, through the main part of the dungeon. When I get to Scylla and Chartis, I'll switch to Armor Breaker. Make sure you go down here so you have the Rend, 30% Rend for 10 seconds, which is huge. Combined with the Sundering Clear Out, which is 25% Rend. And then if you have Sundering Shockwave, you know, it probably won't affect Chartis, but it will Scylla. That's another 10% Rend that you can also be applying. So a lot of Rend going out with that hammer. Utilize it. Keep extra gems on you in case people don't show up with them, or in case you need to switch them out. Powerful honing stones with the Flail I think is a must, because you want as much damage as you can get. Desert Sunrise is really good. Banana Parfait. Infused Ancient Ward, same thing with the coating. Infused Ancient Coatings. And I would say the heart rune you would want to go with was Stone Form. Now, you could do Vines. I don't have it on this account. But you could do, I think it's Reinforced Vines or something like that, where you get Fortify when you put them down. It's a tanking version of the Vines. And that way you can also aggro enemies that are maybe away that you can't reach, and maybe your abilities are on cooldown. So that's another thing. And once the grab well's, you know, thrown into the middle of the group and everybody's close, boom, hit the Vines, keep them there, and, you know, kill them all. So I think I went over everything. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Later.